Next up, we have Iceyyy, Kyroh, Orangie, and Jcluster coming up here to have a panel speak. Let's give them a warm round of applause, you guys. Come on up, you guys.
Good morning. Do we got mics?
They're all in the chairs.
Oh, perfect. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Iceyyy. I am a Web3 gaming content creator. I am super excited to talk to some of the best Web3 gamers in this space, but also like personal friends. So first up, please welcome Orangie, former professional Fortnite player, incredible YouTuber, creator. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Next up, we got Kyroh, the best dead drop player in the world. Tim the Tapman was talking about him recently to Dr. Disrespect, saying he's cracked. I think you got a kill on Dr. Disrespect, right?
Yeah, and Tim.
Amazing. Last but not least, we've got Jcluster, a personal friend of mine, flew all the way in from Canada. Give a round of applause for Jcluster. What's up, brother? All right, guys, so we are going to talk about Web3 gaming and the adoption of gamers coming into blockchain and crypto, which I think is going to onboard the millions of people that we're looking for in Web3, in blockchain, in crypto. Why don't we start going down the panel just with a quick introduction from everybody and how you actually got into what we call crypto gaming, Web3 gaming. Orangie, let's start with you.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been playing pro video games since I was like 14 years old, Overwatch, Rocket League, and then I got into Fortnite when that was popping off. And I played that for like the last, I'm 20, so from like 14 to 18, like 4 or 5 years. And eventually got super burnt out because being pro in like the #1 game in the world takes like 12 hours a day of scrims, content, streaming, whatever. I got super burnt out, and I had actually just learned about like NFTs and crypto. And honestly, I just got like, so I was super early to like the whole Bored Apes and all those NFTs during the bull run. So yeah, I got into like NFTs and then slowly into Web3 gaming.
Kyroh?
Yeah, so what's up, everybody? Whenever I first started in Web3 gaming, it was about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I formerly competed in Apex Legends and was doing a lot of the grind Orangie was talking about. And then I've been friends with a guy named Bryson for a little over a decade now. We used to compete on the same Call of Duty team. And that basically got me into Iceyyy Infinity whenever he first started getting into that. And after Iceyyy and seeing how crypto and gaming can fuse, it just really got me interested in all of that. So started playing a lot of the Web3 games, trying out everything I could. And then there's been a few that have stuck, but recently Dead Drop's been the one that I've been playing a lot. Just it really goes with all the FPS background that I have, and I've just really been enjoying it. And the community around it's really nice, especially having really big Web2 creators being a part of it. It gives me a lot of hope for the future.
Cluster.
Awesome. Yeah, hey, Jcluster. I've been gaming ever since I was like a little kid, of course, but kind of got burnt out when I was in like my mid-20s and started realizing like, I can't waste all my time on gaming. But then I got into crypto in 2020, did the bull run, bought the top, it was great. And I learned that like NFTs were really cool, and I wanted to find applications that had the most utility. And that's when I landed on Web3 gaming. I started saying, oh, like owning your own skins, owning your own assets, that's going to be the future. And kind of made me excited for gaming again too, because I felt like I could like invest my time and actually be like rewarded for it, regardless of whether it's like a really basic play to earn mechanic or if it's just like actually being able to own your assets and turn around and flip them and things like that. So that's kind of how I ended up in the Web3 space, playing Blankos and moving into Decentraland and Sandbox and a bunch of trading card games and Dead Drop. And oh my God, there's so many now.
It's so funny. There's so many Web3 games that you can play this year, which is a stark contrast from what was available last year. We always say like there's no bear market in gaming. And that's certainly proving to be more and more true every day in Web3 gaming. Orangie, I want to ask you, so you're big in the Bored Ape community, in the Yuga Labs ecosystem. What is it about their games, their project that attracted you, and why do you love it so much?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I am pretty big into like the whole Yuga ecosystem, and it's kind of like a mix of just being early to them. They're obviously the #1 project, and like what everybody was talking about when the whole like NFTs was everything that everyone was talking about. And so I just have the most confidence in them because of obviously their funding to do like amazing things. They can hire pretty much everyone. I mean, their CEO was the CEO of Activision Blizzard, so competing in Overwatch and just playing like Call of Duty, Hearthstone, games like that, Candy Crush, like they obviously have a ton of experience in making like #1 Web2 AAA studio games. So, yeah.
You've been playing Dookie Dash. Heavy Metal came out recently, and I think Rec League is associated with Yuga in their ecosystem, and of course they're working on the other side. What games have you enjoyed more than others, or like what do you have to say about their current list of games and titles that are available?
Right. So when I look at Yuga, I see like a studio, and studios have to make all types of different genres of games to appeal to everybody. And obviously for me, it was Dookie Dash, not only because of the money, but because like it was a very fast-paced FPS kind of like just like reflex-based game. Rec League looks fun. It's not Yuga like directly though. And then Heavy Metal is just in its development stages. On September 7th, we have like the next mode coming out, which should be interesting. And then, yeah, other side, of course, is what everyone is looking at as like the next Fortnite, but we could still be a couple years until that happens.
Kyroh, I want to ask you because you're the top Dead Drop player. Congratulations, you just won a Doom Drop tournament hosted by Bryson for like $1,250. Oh, it was like a what, like a 3-week tournament?
Yeah. It was a league, yeah. So there was a 4-week league, and basically you just had, for the first 3 weeks, we had like qualifying matches where it's kill races where you're running into the lobby with, or against everyone else and other people who are playing at the same time. Whoever can gather the most kills in those 3 weeks then gets a point advantage for the playoffs. And we had the playoffs last week, and that was like 6 matches, and whoever scored the highest out of the 6 matches won.
So I want to ask you a little bit more about Dead Drop, right? Because Dead Drop is one of the top games that we all look to in the Web3 gaming space because it's associated with one of the most famous creators in the world, Dr. Disrespect. How exciting is it to you to have someone like Dr. Disrespect making a crypto game? And what about Dead Drop as a player, who someone that plays it every day, keeps you interested in that game?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really early in development. It's in pre-alpha right now, and it is really interesting to see figures in gaming like Doc and a lot of his friends and streamer friends coming to play the game and test it out so early. I think that the integration between crypto and NFTs into the game is also like it's in an even earlier stage than the rest of the development of the game is. So it's pretty minimal right now, which I think actually is doing good for the crossover between Web2 and Web3 communities in the game, because people just have to get either the NFT or like a regular game pass, and then they can all go and play together. And then eventually, if they want to learn about the rest of the blockchain stuff, they can get involved in that if they want to take the next step, which is nice. But as for what keeps me interested in it, I mean, it's like you said, having the big creators in the game and being involved, it kind of gives me a good sense of confidence in the game and the development of it, knowing that they're going to build something great, especially knowing how many of the developers on that game are from past studios of games that I've grown up playing, loving. I mean, 402 has made some of my favorite Call of Duties of all time, and then he handpicked his entire studio of devs to build the game that we're making, and it's awesome, man. I mean, another really big thing is they take a lot of the community input, and like, whenever I play a game, I'm so meticulous about stuff. Like, if I find a bug or a way that, like, movement doesn't feel right or a gun doesn't shoot right, like, I want to note that down, I want to tell the devs, and I want them to fix that. And, like, they are really adamant about doing that, and that's really important to me because I just put a lot of hours in the game. And, like, being listened to whenever you put a lot of hours into a game is, like, super satisfying because you just understand that, like, your word means something, your game time means something to the people making it, and they're not just going to ignore what you say, which is nice.
Yeah, you spoke about 402 and his history in making Call of Duty and traditional games. Why do you think that they decided to make a crypto game? What was it about Web3 that was attractive to them?
I think they kind of wanted to give a middle finger to big AAA studios. I don't know the real reasons. I think that it's got to be kind of annoying being from like 402's position and like making some of the greatest titles of all time and then having Call of Duty just go and just remake them again, use the same title over and just basically like destroy the legacy of what you made. So I mean, that would be annoying to me, but other than that, I think, they see the future and they want to be a part of it early, which hopefully is going to turn out well for them.
I love that. I love that. Cluster, I want to go to you next. So you got your start, Axie Infinity, right? Like a lot of people coming into the space, but that was one of the ones that like, attracted you and like, caught your eye. Big Blankos player. But now you've transitioned, right? You're doing more content, more streaming. You started the What in the Metaverse podcast with King Apollo, which is a great show that you guys should all check out. Talk to me a little bit from the content creator side. What are you trying to do with the What in the Metaverse podcast? And like, what are you trying to add to Web3 gaming with your content?
Yeah, great questions, great questions. Yeah, I mean, I saw the Axie hype. I was too late. They were like $400 a pop, and I was like, nah, I'll look for something else. So that's why I found Blankos. And Blankos was, a completely different game. And it was the only thing out at that time. But like, this year is so big for Web3 gaming that, that's one of the reasons why me and King Apollo wanted to start this podcast, What in the Metaverse podcast, to really sort of capture the current vibe of Web3 gaming. Like, there's so many amazing projects and founders that we can bring on and dive into their game. Like Aldar Game, for example, that's like a dark horse in my opinion. And Metalcore, we had chats with them. It's been great being able to connect with all of the people who are at the forefront of Web3 gaming and like really start to get to understand what their mind frame is. I think that's one of my main goals as a content creator. I have like a background in marketing and journalism and things like that. So being able to just like talk to these people, document it, and try and share that with, the world, but like, the Web3 gaming community, Web3 community, and be able to be a part of that, sort of this revolution is that's why I'm here, man.
I love that. I love that. I want to ask all of you guys this question. We talk about Web3 gaming, right? We put this term on it, and we're always debating on Twitter, like, is it gaming is gaming, right? Why do we call it Web3 gaming? Do you guys feel like there's a real difference between traditional gaming and what we call Web3 gaming, or is it all just gaming, gaming is gaming? What are your thoughts? Orangie, we'll go to you first.
It's a difficult one because when you use terms like NFTs and crypto, you're essentially scaring away your basic gamers. And I can say this confidently as someone who came from Fortnite and had to switch. A lot of my Fortnite fans weren't a big fan of me, coming into like the NFT and crypto community. But then again, like when you have people making headlines, and I'm not even gonna talk about myself, but we saw in Dookie Dash Mongrel, who is top 10 Fortnite player of all time, he won $1.6 million off a game that he played for 1 month, and many other big gamers as well made tons, hundreds of thousands of dollars playing that game. When you see those headlines, you're interested, right? You have your traditional gamers like, damn, why didn't I play Dookie Dash? What was it? And then when opportunities like this present themselves again, which they will, that's when people are going to want to start coming in. I mean, you see it happen with every game. I want to go back to Fortnite World Cup. Booga wins $3 million in one day, and everyone's talking about Fortnite. Every parent is like signing up their kids on ProGuides.com for Fortnite lessons, and Fortnite players like daily active users spikes to its max of all time. Money attracts people to come play in Web 2 and Web 3.
100%. Kyroh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Orangie actually brought up a lot of really good points. It made me think of, I think that like every gamer just kind of has this dream of like the Ready Player One moment where like they get to just unlock and like ascend in whatever they're doing. And a lot of that, it has to do with like big cash prizes, and that does bring a lot of eyes to the communities. And I mean, as for do I think it's Web3 gaming or just gaming, like I don't really care, man. I'm just here to play games, man. Like you show me a good game, I'm gonna play it, and if I like it, I'm gonna talk about it. And if it has blockchain elements, that's awesome. It's cool that it's moving towards that. And I mean, like everybody who's played traditional games, they've all had the experience where they like get a loot box, they get a skin that they want, and then they end up unlocking another skin for the same gun or something, and then they never end up using one of those two skins. And like being able to, if I'm getting on with one of my friends for the first time, and I want him to have a skin on his first time playing, I can trade that to him, my extra one to him. Like something like that is something that like gamers need and want. So anything that moves closer to that, I think is awesome, and I think we probably should just call it gaming, but I don't know. The labels have been there for so long, it's hard to stop using them.
Yeah, I can't help but agree with all you guys for sure too. But I would say that like games are games. I mean, it's nice having blockchain-enabled games. Simply like you said, like being able to transfer ownership in a trustless way without any kind of gray, shady middleman or Rocket League exchange. But I mean, at the end of the day, like it depends on who you're talking to, right? Like we're here at a Web3 conference. I'm not scared to say the NFT word. I'm not scared to say Web3 or talk about Web3 gaming. But if I'm talking to some guy on the street, I'm just gonna say, check out this cool game, right? It depends on who I'm talking to. And when you're, a bunch of subject matter experts talking about, the future of Web3 gaming, like, it makes sense. But there's a time and a place, man, and it really depends. Like, you have to think about that as a content creator. Who's your audience, right? Like, a lot of creators are kind of scared to get too pigeonholed into the niche of Web3. If that's the case, then a lot of your content should just be talking about the gameplay. But I like the tech, so, I'm gonna talk about it. That's kind of part of my brand, and people show up because they're interested in this new technology. Oh, how does NFTs work in a game? And I'll show you, and I'll tell you, right? So it depends on what you're trying to do as a content creator.
I think that that's super interesting because I came from like the crypto world, like the DeFi world. Like I was a casual gamer, as a kid and kind of came back into it through crypto. And I actually had to learn that traditional gamers did not like NFT gaming and actually like kind of talk bad about our industry, which I think is a good insight for the crypto conference that we're at now and maybe the Cardano community. We have some hurdles to overcome in the gaming world as we're trying to promote this space and grow adoption and grow users. So I want to ask you guys, as traditional gamers, why do you think the traditional gaming world has such of a disdain for NFTs and Web3 gaming and like what we're trying to do and like give us so much pushback? What have you seen, Orangie, coming into the space?
Yeah, it goes back to the general idea of crypto, and I still think that like the world has a negative view on it and kind of sees it like as a scam. And even me, like when I was playing Fortnite and I heard the word crypto, I just thought like, oh, they rob Bitcoin or scam people, I don't know. It's just about getting informed, and a good and easy way to do that for like, Gen Z people like me, like young people, is attract them with games. Games media is like the #1 thing that my generation is getting into. So gaming is going to help like kind of ease out that negative view towards crypto, NFTs, etc. What
was that moment that you said like, I wasn't sure about Bitcoin either, like what's going on over there? What changed? Like what was the moment that changed your mind about that? Like, oh wow, there's something here. What was your progression in learning about the space? Like, oh, there's cool stuff happening, Yuga Labs is doing stuff. Like what was it? Yeah, so when I quit Fortnite, okay, I want to be really honest. Like, I was playing Fortnite like 12 hours a day, and I was maybe making like $6,000 a month for like, being top of the top and making content, whatnot. And then just some friends told me like, yo, like I know you're burnt out of Fortnite, like check this out, NFTs. And I'm like, damn, okay, I'll buy that, whatever. And I remember buying my first doodle at like 1 ETH. It was like $4,000 at the time. That's a lot to put in as like an the good old days.
Yeah, that's a lot to put in. And then, I bought a doodle 1 ETH, went to NFT NYC, and then I went to a doodles party. Doodles pumped to like 8 ETH, and I was like, damn, I just made like 40K. Holy shit, this is it. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. There's something to this space. Okay. Kyroh, what about you? What have you seen from traditional gamers hating on NFTs? Why? Why do you think that is, and how do we overcome that?
Yeah, I think the first person through the wall, whenever they break through the wall, always gets a little bloody. So I think that like we're breaking walls down and stigmas, and it's going to be hard at the start, and that's why we need like really good games to come out and just be undeniable. And then I mean, that moment for me, whenever I really made the switch on crypto and everything, I think that anything that does like oppose money in general and like the traditional money system is gonna get stigmatized badly. And I mean, obviously that's crypto, and so I think that there's a part of that in it. But for me, whenever I made the switch, I think it was just like there was a couple wallets that I was using, like the Ronin wallet, and just learning how to use MetaMask and everything like that, and just transferring money around seamlessly and like really cheap, and I don't know, the whole wallet experience was just really, really nice for me, and it really stuck with me whenever I thought about it with just games and skins, and like that whole thing for me is always going to be the reason why I think this is important, because it just owning your assets and being able to transfer them around how you want to. That really was a big game changer for me.
Yeah, Paisan, shout out to Paisan in the crowd there. He helped me understand this. It's like what we call NFTs, traditional gamers just call skins, and they've existed in games for decades. Like, this isn't new, but what is new is the ownership aspect, and it just makes so much sense for NFTs to exist in gaming that like it's kind of a no-brainer. We all believe that in the space, but we do have some hurdles in onboarding and educating people. Cluster, what do you think about the topic?
Okay, so my brothers are gamers. Come from a gamer family. One of my brothers is into crypto, not into Web3 gaming. My other brother is not into either, and he's one of those like really anti, crypto NFT gaming type people. So I hear a lot about it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to like everybody who's playing games is playing games for a different reason. And a lot of gamers haven't hit that plateau yet where they're like, oh my God, I just spent like my entire life playing games and I have nothing to show for it. I think that when gamers play a lot of games and they kind of burn out, Orangie played shit tons of Fortnite, excuse my French. And, like, that's got to be a lot on like a gamer. I started feeling like there's got to be more than this. There's got to be more to gaming than this. Like, play like thousands and thousands of hours in World of Warcraft and I can't even do anything with anything that's in there, right? It's a lot of time wasted, nothing back. And I think that is going to change as more gamers' rose-colored glasses kind of fall off and they realize that like games can be more than just entertainment, and that's fine, right? Like a lot of people who are against crypto and NFTs and games are like, no, it's just about the entertainment. It's like, yeah, it was for the first 15 years, but now I just want to like be a little bit more involved in the value chain as a gamer, So I think the narrative will shift.
I think so too. I think this is sort of the natural adoption curve, right? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win, right? And I think that's what we're seeing not only in the crypto market abroad, over the past 5-10 years, but especially in Web3 gaming. Web3 gaming is what, 2, maybe 3 years old? So we're kind of going through the same cycle that I think the crypto industry has gone through. I want to ask you guys, I think that, me personally, I believe that gaming will be the unlock for cryptocurrency and onboard millions of people into our space through a fantastic game where they're just going to come in and want to play a fantastic game like Dead Drop or like Other Side or get into the Yuga ecosystem because they've got a lot of great games. Do you think that, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like, do you believe in that thesis that gaming will onboard millions of people into crypto? And what is it going to take for it to do that?
So I want to make it very clear, this is my first crypto cycle, so I don't really know like the past too much. But I mean, it brought me on board, right? And it made me kind of stick here. And then all my friends that have been pro in Valorant, Call of Duty, CSGO, Overwatch, every AAA game, have come into Web3 because they saw what I achieved in Doogie Dash, and now they're hitting me up nonstop, like, yo, when's this next opportunity? When's this? When's that? And I think I kind of want to answer your other question about like, should it be Web3 gaming or gaming? And I agree with what he said, that it depends on your audience. When Bryson was making TikTok videos about Doogie Dash, he referred to it as, these gamers won $1 million playing this game in 1 month. He didn't say like this crypto game or whatever. And then that made people super interested, and like we saw people make videos with millions of views on YouTube hating on Doogie Dash because of like the crypto aspect. Yeah. And then when Mongrel won 1.6 mil, everyone was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have hated. But yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Kyroh? Dead Drop is obviously poised to be a massive success. Do you think that that has a shot at onboarding millions of gamers into, our industry, our space?
I don't know. I think that, over time, if more great games are put out and they all have crypto aspects, that, it definitely could. It depends on how seamless it gets and how much the user doesn't have to think about it whenever they're doing it. If it's super simple for everybody to get involved, then I think that it definitely has a chance. If it is as complicated as it is right now and stays that way, then who knows?
Yeah, I want to dig into that a little bit. Like, what are some of the hurdles that we have to still overcome in Web3 gaming, in the technology, the onboarding, the wallets? What are some of the roadblocks that are preventing us? What is Web3 gaming lacking?
I think that I don't know. I think that there's a lot of roadblocks, but I think that if there's a good enough hook, that players will just jump right over them. They won't care. I mean, whenever there was money to be made in droves, I think a lot of people they learned because they knew that they had to learn. So I think currently it's just way too much at the start. Whenever you want to be able to just, especially for games, you want to be able to just jump in, play like a regular game. It has to feel exactly like every other game that you play. So for games, it's got to be like that.
Cluster, what do you think Web3 gaming is lacking in its current state?
There's all sorts of roadblocks depending on the game. One of the biggest problems as someone who plays a lot of games is how you want to play U.io, you need a Phantom wallet. Or was that other wallet? Or what about this other game? Oh, it needs a different wallet. Now I need an Ethereum wallet. Now I need my... So you have 20 different wallets. And as a gamer, you don't want to have to set up... you don't want to have to set up 20 wallets just to keep playing games you like, right? So I feel like one of the biggest hurdles will be some way to have a single identity. That was the whole point of being able to take a wallet. But it's got to be cross-chain now. There's got to be it's got to be easier to use the same wallet in an agnostic way. One sign-up. That's got to be the way. Honestly, Web3 gaming is going to blow up once people make a single account, just like in Ready Player Me, like that movie or whatever. There's just a single identity. They go in and they can play any game they want, right? And that's kind of where I think the metaverse will end up going.
I think that's, I agree with that. I think that's something that the gaming world understands, and what excites me about the developments in the crypto gaming world, because we're trying to solve that onboarding problem. And I think when we solve that problem and prove it, the rest of the crypto industry will just adopt it and be like, oh, okay, this is how you get millions of people onto your chain, using your protocol, playing your game, or into your ecosystem. I want to ask you guys, as gamers, as creators, what are you most excited about in the next 6 months? What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, honestly, titles to come out and a really easy way for everybody to be involved. I think we look at the general crypto community and how many of them can really say I'm a gamer. When I first came into NFTs and crypto, I think, and I started hearing about Web3 gaming, I was like, do these older people that are investing money and have their own businesses and stuff really care about video games? No, not really. But what really interested me was that if you're not a gamer and you're still into crypto, there's still opportunity for you to make money and have your assets played on. And I think that delegation is where that comes in. Somebody has the asset and they look into having players, kind of how the Iceyyy Infinity Scholarship Program worked. To my knowledge, I never played Iceyyy, but that's how it worked, right? There was a whale and he had a ton of assets and just got a bunch of players and, everybody was happy.
That was a really good time. I actually missed a lot of that. But
we all missed the bull market, Kyroh. It's coming back, though.
Yeah, one day. For the next 6 months, the one thing that really sticks out for me is, so obviously playing a lot of Dead Drop in October. There's an in-person event in Vegas that they're hosting for the next Snapshot release. And so that'd be a pretty cool crossover event between both Web3 and Web2 communities. And other than that, I guess we'll see if anything comes out and surprises me,
Can you actually speak to that a little bit? Because you attended the last Snapshot live event in...
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Oh,
I wanted
man.
to. I really, really wanted to, but I couldn't.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to have to come back and talk about it after you attend the one in Vegas. Cluster, what are you most excited about in the next 6 months in Web3 gaming?
Fully finished games. Not demos. An actual complete game that I can play, you know? That's what I'm really looking forward to. An example would be on the mobile side, like WAGMI Games is, you know, it's going to be a full game, and I feel like that's going to be huge for onboarding the masses. Because it's a simple mobile game that anybody can download. And I think it's going to really target like APAC regions and those sorts of like really high population, high mobile device sort of population people. So I'm really excited. I feel like there's going to be a huge influx of people in the crypto and Web3 gaming space in the next 6 months, and it's going to be from games that are finally fully finished games. Like, there's a few that are coming out in the next 6 months.
There is some coming, for sure. I don't know how much time we have left. I want to do a quick lightning round. Favorite NFT, real quick, 5-10 seconds. Favorite NFT that you own?
My Bored Apes.
Kyroh?
Probably all my variants.
Cluster?
Putting me on the spot, but I still like some of my Blancos, man. Even though their prices are way down, I still love them.
Paisan just died a little bit inside. Guys, that's our time. Thank you so much for, give a round of applause for the panel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Claim your official proof of participation in Rare Evo 2023. Whether you attend physically or tune in on the live stream, you get a free NFT painted by Brendan O'Connell live from our expo hall floor, and you get whitelisted for the Rare Perks NFT presale. By claiming, you will be entered into a giveaway of multiple rewards, including the original one-of-one physical painting by Brendan, along with exclusive access and opportunities for Rare Evo 2024, including, but not limited to, free general admission and VIP passes, a 10x10 booth, workshop space, and more.